Why is this being done?
Yeah, they're gonna do it. Oh!
He'd rather we were all in jail, and someday we will be.
On the Canada-China Investment Treaty, the most significant treaty of its kind since NAFTA. I requested a technical briefing from the Minister of Trade on September 27th. I got it 1 hour ago, so I can update folks. It turns out it confirms that Chinese state-owned enterprises will have the right to complain and charge for damages from decisions in Canada by municipal, provincial, territorial, or the federal government. It confirms this treaty will apply for a minimum of till 2027 and potentially till 2042. And China can complain of anything it feels is arbitrary. It will be of greater benefit to Chinese investors in Canada than to Canadian investors in China. No province has been asked if it approves of this agreement. Yesterday, the Prime Minister asked that members of this place should acquaint themselves with the treaty. I have. It threatens our security, our sovereignty, and our democracy. And yet this 60 seconds will be the only briefing this House gets.
But as God is my witness, we're selling this country down the drain for certainty for investors that are not democracies. We are selling out our democracy for the sake of oil. We are selling our country down the drain for the sake of other people in other countries processing bitumen into crude with refinery standards that God only knows are more polluting than if we handled it here in Canada. But just in case Beijing is worried that there's a shred of democracy left in this country, and Stephen Harper's already promised them in Beijing, the Enbridge project, the great pipeline of China, will be built. We're not worried about what First Nations might think, and we're not waiting to find out what the government of British Columbia thinks. Come hell or high water, we're going to allow Chinese Communist Party state-owned enterprises in Alberta that get the bitumen out of the ground and run it through Chinese-controlled pipelines to Kitimat, to Chinese-controlled tankers, to Chinese-controlled refineries.
The right to sue Canada because they don't like our laws, because it reduces their expectation of profits. That's what's in this deal, the China-Canada Investment Treaty, and we don't have a right to say anything about it. By God, we do have a right to say something about it. Right now, we have to send a message to Christy Clark loud and clear, because we know Sinopec is already invested with Enbridge in the pipeline so far. We do not want to have some future government or Stephen Harper say to us, we can't say no to the pipeline, or we will owe China billions of dollars. I'm not kidding. This is what's on the line. We have to stop this treaty before November 2nd. Christy Clark, get yourself a lawyer. Go for an injunction right now. Thank you.
I know. Are we fired up or what?
And to have arbitration over claims for damages that will remain secret, that the Canadian public will not know of them. Mr. Speaker, I'm shaken to my core by the depth and breadth of this motion that will come before not this House, but merely Cabinet, and bind Canadians for 15 years, municipal governments, provincial governments, and federal governments. Mr. Speaker, I beg of you to allow an emergency debate in this House.
I thank the honourable member for raising this issue and appreciate the importance with which she attaches to the issue, but I don't find that it meets the test set out for emergency debates.